Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope you are all doing well. On today's episode, we are going to be kicking it off with a clip of a man's Valentine's Day that got turned upside down by what seems to be a crazy, cheating girlfriend. Make sure to stick around, guys, as we're going to be covering some pretty wild stuff today. As always, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments, drop a sub, and let's get into it.
Happy Valentine's to all of you guys. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. It's not like I just caught my girl with another dude in my own room in my bed. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Hope you have a great day.
And people say that this stuff only happens to women. If you ask men about their previous dating and relationship experiences, a lot of them have been through situations where they themselves were in danger or have been cheated on. Society as a whole tends to downplay these situations, often going so far as to blame the woman's infidelity on the man for quote-unquote not providing enough support.
Say my body is a temple, I mean I only let people who worship me inside me. That's not really true.
A lot of modern day relationships are not contingent on how well a man treats you. In fact, a lot of girls are repulsed by men who treat them well. These are the same women who turn around and complain when they themselves get cheated on or are treated poorly. They themselves are the one who put themselves in those situations.
This is seriously my #1 comment. Best advice? Stop dating broke boys. Don't match with them, don't talk to them, don't even breathe next to them. You're just wasting your own time. If you continue to be selective and keep going on dates, you too can end up like me.
This woman's solution to finding the ideal man is to go on many dates and never date broke men. We have a word for women like that, and it's not a pleasant one. I find it funny how women will advocate to each other to never date a broke man and then consequently get upset when men objectify them. I'm sorry, I thought your quote-unquote love was dependent on how much money I earn. In that case, I see no difference between you and a soft-serve ice cream you can get down at McDonald's. Also, when she says you can end up like me, I highly doubt she is in any long-term sustainable relationship. Sustainable, healthy relationships aren't built on the thickness of a man's wallet, but hey, what would I know? I'm just an animated vampire fiend, and us mere mortals are clearly in the presence of a dating coach prodigy.
Just realized something. I'm truly in shock right now. I'm so embarrassed. I'm actually so embarrassed. I don't even know what to do with myself. As a woman, when you go on a first date or any date, you don't split the check, right? My girlfriends tell me these dating horror stories where they put the card down and they're like, oh, like maybe we can split the bill, but they don't mean it. And then the guy actually splits it and it's an ick and they never go on a second date. And I'm always like, why would you do that? Why are you putting your card down? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I've never done that in my life. I would never pay. But now I'm like, am I wrong? I've never done that in my life. I'm 22 years old. I've never, ever put my card down unless we were like in a long-term relationship.
I find it absolutely disgusting how men are expected to pay for these women. Why on earth you would pay for a girl who treats dating like a hobby is beyond me. Again, women expect you to act like a gentleman while they themselves are not a lady. Tell me, guys, in what world does a quote-unquote lady act with such entitlement? It's very interesting to notice how these quote-unquote strong and independent women are the same women that refuse to pay for their own meals.
So fully on my shit right now. Everybody has seen my nudes. You're not special. If you think that I've sent my nudes to you and like I took them right that second. No, everybody has seen them, first of all. Second of all, bragging about seeing my nudes or telling other people that you have my nudes isn't the flex you think it is, babe. Third of all, if you want to see them, ask politely.
Can you guys imagine being a father in this generation? Like, you can't control what your children do because then you're automatically a misogynist. So they wind up making videos like this on TikTok. I'm not sure what the hell this woman is trying to do. All she is doing is further devaluing herself for everybody to see. She is absolutely correct though. I don't think it's a flex at all. Guys, keep your private life private and don't share it with the world like what woman is doing. Excuse me. You will thank me later.
When someone asks me if I'm single, how do I explain to them that I'm leading 5 people on At the same time, I'm trying to get over my ex of 2 years, but also at the same time, I'm pining over my crush who does not care about me.
I think a better question to ask yourself is, why are you dating in the first place? You outline not only your own terrible dating decisions, but your active involvement in leading on and by extension treating men like garbage. This kind of attitude and behavior is one of the most damaging things to dating today, and yet these girls are totally oblivious of it. Even if they aren't oblivious, most of them don't seem to care anyway. I try in my videos to outline how common this behavior is, but no amount of videos I make will reach all of the men that they need to in order to prevent this from happening.
Do you know how men these days say that marriage only benefits women? This is quite frankly one of the biggest BS ever. Marriage benefits men in so many different ways, but only smart, ambitious men know about this. First, the most obvious benefit is having legal offspring, building legacy and generational wealth.
Men can do all of those things by themselves. If you think a man needs a woman in order to build a legacy, you are out of your damn mind. If you're referring to kids as part of that legacy, there is still absolutely no reason for him to marry you in order to have children. Not only that, but a man's legacy is often tainted by having a girl at his side. I cannot count the amount of men out there who have a girlfriend with for sale signs around their neck, indicated by the amount of spicy photos and degeneracy that they post online. I can think of many large Twitch streamers, for example, who immediately come to mind where this shoe fits.
The second huge benefit is having a housewife who basically runs, organizes and manages entire household for you. Takes basically half of the hassle of your mind. It lets men focus on his goals and his career.
I can pay a maid. It's wild to me how these girls seem to think they are doing so much by being stay-at-home wives or mothers when their entire job is replaceable by childcare and a maid. Just because you can clean a house does not mean that you are entitled to marriage and by extension a man's possessions. But guys, before we continue with today's video, I just want to say a huge thank you to Patreon and local supporters for supporting this channel. If you're interested in becoming a member, links to both of those things will be in the video description. As you guys all know, YouTube is very heavy-handed on the censorship these days, and I don't know how long this channel will be around for. Even if you're not interested in becoming a supporter, Locals is totally free to join, so make sure you come and join so we don't lose touch if Susan decides to remove us from the platform. Anyway, let's get on with the video.
And that's why very often the most successful men have been married. So a wife literally takes care of his household,
No, most successful men have been married because women select for successful men. No woman wants to marry a broke guy. That is why all the ones who are further on in life have already been taken. The logic that she uses here is downright disingenuous.
his children and himself, while he can focus all his energy on his goals. Another huge benefit that mediocre Dusties do not notice, it's the wife who's in charge of socializing. It's the wife who makes connections that will elevate men's career.
Where is your evidence that women make any meaningful connections for men? If you think that mingling with other housewives is valuable to men, you have no idea what you're talking about. If you're talking about mingling with career prospects in the form of other men and women, why should a man need a wife in order to do this when he can have, I don't know, a secretary? Not only is a secretary miles cheaper if you account for the divorce rates, they would undoubtedly perform better because it is their job. Also, if you want to be cynical, or as intelligent people would call it, realistic about the situation, having your wife mingle around successful men, even if they have wives, is more of a risk of infidelity if we're inclined to call it what it is. In other words, these are not the man's connections you are trying to facilitate, they are also yours. You are simply leveraging the man to have these connections.
It's the wife who mingles with the wives of other influential people and makes connections and networks for her men. And that's why, even if the wife doesn't come from upper society, from upper class or wealthy family, but she's high value, but she's sociable, she knows social etiquette, and she knows how to build connections and how to behave around people, she will still elevate her man in so many ways. She will elevate his entire life and his entire career.
Wait, so let me get this straight. This woman was calling men broke and dusty at the beginning of this video, but is trying to make the case as to why men should elevate women to higher society. In other words, she is trying to convince men to take literally broke and dusty women, to use her own language, to the promised land. I would laugh if her thinking here wasn't so hypocritical and dirty.
Another benefit. Having family and having a wife makes a man appear more trustworthy, which again benefits his career. Having a wife also upgrades a man's social status. However vain it may sound, a wife is actually a status symbol.
You know what else is funny? You know what else is a status symbol, guys? A model that is hired for a 30-minute photo shoot in front of a rented car. Status has never been easier to purchase, especially for those successful men who you are so desperate to get with. But guys, we are going to be calling today's video there. As always, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments. If you disagree with anything I've said, feel free to let me know. That is what the comments box is for. If you're interested in supporting the channel, make sure you check out the Patreon and locals links in the description. But otherwise, I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Peace.